You know, people think they know everything about a person from the outside, from what they hear on the news or read online. But they don't know the real story, not the way I do. You probably think I did it, right? That I did everything they said I did, just because I ended up behind bars. That's what they all think. But see, life doesn't always play out fair. And when you're a black man from the wrong side of town, sometimes you're guilty just by walking around, by being seen in the wrong place at the wrong time. That's how it was for me, Harry McCallum. Back in the day, I was just another kid from the neighborhood trying to get by. I grew up in Southside Chicago, rougher than rough. We didn't have much, but we had each other. Me, my mom, and my little sister. Dad wasn't in the picture, not since I was 8 or 9. Mom worked 2 jobs just to keep food on the table, and I tried my best to stay out of trouble. It wasn't easy, though, surrounded by gangs, drugs, and crime. Every day was a new challenge, a new test. But I had dreams. Yeah, I did. I wanted out of there. Wanted a life for myself and my family. I used to talk to my friends about it, say, one day we're gonna be more than this. We're gonna make it. But life doesn't let everyone climb out so easy. It pulls some of us down, and the system's quick to push down harder if you don't fit their idea of a good citizen. I had a job at a local warehouse, just loading and unloading boxes. It wasn't much, but it was honest work. But then times got tough. My mom fell sick, and bills started piling up. No one prepares you for that. When it's your family, you start thinking you gotta do whatever it takes to keep things going. So, I did what I had to. Took on extra shifts, found side gigs, anything to make sure she was okay. But I'd see guys around me, driving nice cars, wearing expensive clothes. They didn't clock in at any 9 to 5, that's for sure. They made fast money, and when times got hard, it's easy to start wondering if that could have been my way out too. I thought about it more than once, you know? Wondered if I could handle that life, but something always held me back. Something in me knew I'd get caught up if I even tried. Then came that night. The one that changed everything. It was June 12th, hot, sticky. I was just getting off work, dog-tired, looking forward to heading home and crashing. But as I'm walking down Clybourne Avenue, I see blue and red lights flashing up ahead. Figured it was just another Friday night on the south side, but as I got closer, I realized the cops were blocking off the whole block. I tried to go around, but 2 officers saw me and waved me over. My heart started pounding. I didn't know what they wanted with me, hadn't done anything wrong, but I knew better than to question them. One officer pulled out a picture, showed me a face I didn't recognize. A young woman, late 20s, brown hair. He asked if I'd seen her around, if I knew anything about a fight that went down that night. I told him I had no clue who she was, that I was just trying to get home. But they didn't seem satisfied. They kept pressing, asking me where I'd been, who I'd talked to, if I had any witnesses who could vouch for me. I had nothing to give them. Next thing I know, I'm in the back of a patrol car. They took me in, questioned me for hours. Didn't matter what I said, they'd already made up their minds. They wanted someone to blame, and I was convenient. They needed to make an example, to show the public they were protecting the city. In court, I barely had a chance. They paraded so-called witnesses who said they saw me near the scene. Some even said they saw me talking to that woman earlier. Lies. All lies. I didn't know her. I didn't know anything about what happened, but it didn't matter. The prosecution painted me as some thug from the streets. Said I was out for trouble, that I had a record. Well, yeah, I had a record for trespassing and missing curfew when I was 15. Hardly makes me a menace to society, but to them, it was enough. They didn't see me. They saw a stereotype. My public defender tried his best, but I could tell he'd already given up before we started. He said, "Harry, you know, maybe we should just go for a plea. It's your best shot." But I was innocent, so I refused. I thought if I told the truth, someone would listen. Someone would see me for who I really was. But that's not how it works. Not in the real world. When the verdict came down, guilty on all counts, I felt like I'd been punched in the gut. The sentence was harsh. 20 years. 20 years for something I didn't do. For being in the wrong place at the wrong time. As they led me out of the courtroom, I looked at my mom, sitting in the back row. She had tears in her eyes, and I'll never forget the way her face fell when the sentence was read. It was like her whole world shattered right there. Now I'm here, doing my time, day in and day out. I try to keep my head down, stay out of trouble, but it's hard, real hard. I got my books, try to read, try to keep my mind busy. But every night, when the lights go out, and it's just me in this cell, I think about that day, about everything that went wrong, about all the dreams that got stolen from me. You know what hurts the most? It's knowing that no one cared enough to dig deeper. That girl, she lost her life, and instead of finding who really did it, they tossed me in here to close the case. The real person's still out there, walking free. And me? I'm rotting in here, forgotten, just another statistic. But I hold on to hope. I keep telling myself that one day someone's gonna listen, that the truth will come out. I've met guys in here who've been freed after decades because someone finally took up their case, proved their innocence. Maybe that'll be me someday. Maybe not. But till then, I just gotta keep going. Keep surviving. If you're listening, don't let my story be forgotten. Don't let them sweep this under the rug like they did that night. I may be stuck here, but I'm not gone. Not yet. One day, I'm gonna walk out of here with my head held high, with the truth finally out there. And until that day comes, I'm gonna keep telling my story, keep fighting, even if no one else will.